Hey, this is Tony Ross for TonyTeach.com, and we are trying out a few new things here. First and foremost, what might be obvious is I am actually in Adobe Animate, which is formerly called Adobe Flash, and I am working on a project, and I'm basically having this little interactive section here. And what I wanted to take a brief moment to show you is how you can create an invisible button in Flash or in Adobe Animate. And this is just a quick little tutorial, one, to let you know that I have started getting back into doing some Flash tutorials. And I'm also testing out a new microphone setup. So I'm using the Samson C01U Pro. And what I want to do right now is scold my daughter for eating a Reese's cup without asking permission. Go sit down. Thank you. So what I want to show you, I'm going to do a quick little render of this particular thing here. I'm not only working in Adobe Animate, but you might be thinking, hey, why are you working in Flash? SWF is dead and no one uses Flash anymore. Well, here's the thing. I'm actually using JavaScript and HTML. And this is, I think they started it probably with CC, maybe a few things before that. Yes, I still want you to continue. But it's generating HTML. So I'm playing with some things here. Like if I click on this little guy here, there's a little guy that pops up. If I click there, those little guys move. And if I come down here and click, that little guy moves. All right, kind of cool. What is that for? It's for a different project altogether. But what I want to do is I'm going to create a new document, Command N, and pretty much have templates. But right now, what I want to do, let's go to General, and I'll do a general HTML5 canvas. This is what you want to do. And I'm just going to leave the default of 550 by 400, 24 frames per second. Just click OK. And what I'm going to do is come over here to my tools, grab something really, really ridiculous so you'll see what's happening. Use red for fill. I'm not going to set a stroke color. Let's grab this little square here. I'll click and drag. Doesn't really matter, but I'm going to hold on my shift key here. And I'm going to select this. I'll do a quick key by holding down my command key and then click directly on this little shape that I've made. And I'm going to turn this into a symbol. What I want is a button. So I'll do F8. So simply press F8 and convert to symbol. Yes, I want it to be a button. And I'm going to call this INVS. I usually do this. It stands for invisible, at least as far as I'm concerned. BTN for button. The registration, where it's its little registration point, that's fine where it is. And I'll just go ahead and click OK. And now, if I test this out, let's do command return. Okay, it's a little button there. That's great. But how do we make an invisible button? I've seen a couple people do this, and it's kind of annoying. So this is the wrong way to do it. So you select the button, and you come over here to your properties. And for the color effect, you go to alpha and you set it to 0. That is the absolute wrong way to do an invisible button. Now, let me tell you why. When you're doing alpha, it actually adds to the file size, and the whole thing with doing stuff on the web or doing stuff for mobile, which is what you want to be doing with HTML5 and making sure it's responsive and all other fun stuff. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply double click on this, and it's going to take me into the edit mode for the button. I'm going to look at the button's timeline. For a button, there's up, meaning this is what it looks like normal. There's over, like if you move your mouse or your finger over a button, what would it do? So you can make it look different there. There's down, what happens if you click on it, and there's hit. So the deal is hit is the active area for the button. So that's the only thing we need to do an invisible button. So I'm going to click the up and just drag this over to hit. So everything else is blank except for the active area or the hit. So if I go back to scene 1, now the reason I use red is so you can actually see what's happening here. What Animate or Flash does is it lets you know, hey, dude, this is an actual button here. I can go over here and give it an instance name and then make stuff happen. So it's kind of cool. All right, so if we go back to this other guy here, you see that I have all these different things. I've got this really crazy timeline. I've got a bird. I've got guys playing with socks, and I've got somebody sitting at the windowsill. But I have all of these buttons on their own layer. That's the sill button. This is the socks button. So I have commands that are telling it where to go if you click on these. Now, I'm not going to do that today, but maybe I'll do that on the next lesson. But this, again, is just a quick little tutorial on an invisible button, and it's just me playing around with the microphone, seeing if it works. Hey, Tony, what's that you're working on? Something. So, yeah, getting this project done. And getting a lot of stuff worked on. Getting a nice texture to some illustrations here. But anyway, I think this is long enough. This has been Tony Ross for TonyTeach.com. Remember, keep it simple. Make it perfect. If you don't have time to make it perfect, rethink the idea. Have a good one.